Hello everybody! So today I'm going to be reviewing the Marvy Uchida Color In brush pens. I originally purchased these after seeing them recommended by How2Hand-Letter, so I will link her video down below if you'd like to look for it. I first bought the pastels pack and then after I bought it, so I will not be able to review those today. So the pack that I do have and will be reviewing is the pastels pack, and you can actually see the purple here, and I will be showing you the rest of the colors shortly. I will be completely honest and say that these are not my absolute favorite brush pen, but I do think that they have some really good qualities that are quite unique in a brush pen, but they do also have some downsides which I don't like and I think detract from its value. But you can find them for a really good price at Michael's. I got my pastel pack for only $9, so I really have gotten my bang for my buck because I use them quite often. So I do think that they are worth the money if the downsides aren't too big of a deal for you. Just swatching the whole pack of pastels to show you the array of colors. And I do really like the range that they have, but there are a couple of problems that I have with it. The first of these is the brown color. I would say that in a pastel pack, the brown should be lighter if there's going to be a brown, but I personally don't need a brown, so I don't use brown very often. But I would say that in a pastel pack, if there's going to be a brown, it should probably be lighter because this is quite a dark and saturated brown compared to the other colors in the pack. The other problem I would say is that this pack is so pastel that some of the colors are really hard to see, especially when it comes to the upstrokes because they're already thin lines and then the color is so light that you can barely distinguish between the white background and the color. So this can make it hard to outline your lettering sometimes, and if you're taking pictures, it might not show up as nicely as it does on the paper. And then lastly, I find the two blues are quite similar, so I would say that they're too similar to be in the same pack. Maybe if they were in a different pack, it would be okay, but I would say that since there is a limited number of pens that you get, having two blues is similar maybe isn't the best that you could get. I would prefer maybe a light orange, just because there's nothing like that in the pack rather than having the two blues. So right now I'm just indicating towards the two blues that I find very similar. They are both in the sky blue shade area. There's no maybe a more purpley blue and then a more turquoisey blue. They're both quite similar. And here I'm also pointing out the colors that are very light. So that includes the light yellow, the light pink, and the gray. They are very hard to see. As you can see on the screen and also in person, they're quite hard to see. The nib of the pen is what makes this pen really unique. It's smaller than the Tombow nib and the Artist Lock nib, but it's considerably bigger than the Kelly Create small brush pen nib and the Pentel brush pen nib. And what makes this brush pen nib very different is not actually its size, but its insane flexibility. So it's way bouncier than the Tombow and the Artist Loft. It just completely collapses when pressure is applied and it springs right back up. So as you can see, I can get extremely thick downstrokes when I push down and thin upstrokes when I come back up. In comparison to the Tombow, which is well known for its bounciness, I can actually get thicker downstrokes and thinner upstrokes with the Color In brush pen. When I first bought these, I actually found them quite hard to use because of this flexibility. It makes it quite difficult to get a smooth transition between the downstrokes and the upstrokes, and even now, over a year later, I still don't reach for these first because they are one of the more difficult pens to use. So if you are a beginner, I'm not sure if I would recommend these for learning. But if you think you tend not to push down too hard on the brush pens, then this may make the transition a little bit smoother because you aren't transitioning from such a thick downstroke to such a thin upstroke. You can see me point to some of the areas where the transitions between downstrokes and upstrokes weren't as smooth as I would have liked. Lastly, I just wanted to talk about fraying. I don't use them on any rougher paper like watercolor paper, and I also don't use them every day, but they have not frayed at all for me, so I will say these are pretty good when it comes to that area. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. And if you have any other pens you'd like to see reviewed or any other video ideas you'd like to see, comment them down below and I'll be sure to check it out. You can also follow me on Instagram at Live.and.letter for more regular content. I post pretty often on there and I'd love to have you join me, so I'll link it down below. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day and I'll see you next time.